I'm Chris Schrader, former champion of SPW and tag team champion of NWA Fusion. I travel the country looking for up-and-comers from parts unknown. This is Weekend Warriors. On this episode of Weekend Warriors, we travel to Northern Virginia to meet with John Kermon. What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Pretty good. How you been?
Good, man.
Good.
I'm John Kermon. I'm an MMA fighter, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt, Muay Thai coach, professional wrestler, and all-around badass.
Pro wrestling, that's why we're here. Tell me, how did you get into this art form?
Well, I think my story is probably like a lot of other people's. I watched it when I was growing up, and when I became an adult, I decided that I wanted to actually become a pro wrestler. I know a lot of people end up watching it a lot of the time and then never actually trying it, but I actually wanted to try it. So I just did a quick internet search for local wrestling schools to my area. I found one that was close. I went and visited one day, signed up the next day, and the rest is, as they say, history.
When was the first time you watched wrestling?
It was seeing Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat, WrestleMania 3. That is the first match that I remember watching and being like, whoa, like this is awesome.
Training, how long would you say it took you?
I had my first match actually, it was about 6 months into training.
Okay.
Which is kind of quick compared to a lot of people. I know a lot of people end up training for a year or more. I got my first match kind of out of a place of convenience. There was a guy who was supposed to be on the show, but he didn't show up. But I also did good enough that first time to continue to keep doing shows after that.
Do you remember your first match and how it went?
How could I not? I wrestled a guy whose primary role is to be a referee. So yeah, okay. I'm sure you can imagine how that went. Yeah. I mean, it was very quick though. You know, neither of us obviously had much experience doing the wrestling side of things, so we got in there, got out. It wasn't enough to make everybody leave the building. Right.
Since becoming a wrestler, you've kind of built a duality life.
You could say that.
Where you became an MMA guy, right?
Yeah.
When did that start?
2010. I had goals, obviously.
Right.
My major goal was to make a living doing just wrestling.
Right.
Whether that was signed to a major company, or go to Japan, whatever. I wanted my main income and my main source of providing for myself to be wrestling. I gave myself kind of a 10-year goal to do that. So when I was coming up on that time, The Ultimate Fighter had become a big thing in like 2005.
Right.
So I watched that television show and it piqued my interest a little bit, enough to go to a gym to try some classes out and see what it was like. And during that time period, I trained for 6 months, just striking. And at the end of that 6 months, that was how long my membership at the place I was going to was. I decided I was more concentrating on wrestling at the time, and I felt like I was putting all my energy into that, so I needed to concentrate on that. And I kind of took a break from training then. But I remembered all that when the 10-year mark came up, and I was like, you know what? We don't know what we're capable of unless we try. Right. So I just said, screw it, man. I'm gonna try this.
Nice. And now you are the teacher. You teach.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because this is how I provide for myself now. I think a lot of people sometimes are destined for things.
Right.
People will say that, you know, they're special or gifted. And I don't necessarily think it's that. I think sometimes there's something inside of us that we work towards and we drive towards. And it's like, man, sometimes it's a drive inside of us just can't be denied.
So tonight you actually have a wrestling match, while we're here. How are you going to prepare for your day?
Well, go home for a little bit, take my dog out, hang out, and then head to the show and get it on. There's plenty of things I can point to and say, oh, this was a missed opportunity, this was a good opportunity that people can relate to their day job where they're working out of office or whatever. And I think really that's kind of the biggest thing I learned is just when you have an opportunity, you should take it. No matter what it is, if you think it's gonna help you and make things better for you, you should at least try it because you never know how it's gonna turn out. I think most of us don't even know what we're capable of, myself included, and we're never gonna know if we don't ever test ourselves.
about our 10th show, and we're right here in Northern Virginia. For those that don't know, Nova Pro Wrestling stands for Northern Virginia Professional Wrestling. Northern Virginia Professional Wrestling came from a very pure place. It came from, my father and I, who both grew up in this area our whole lives, wanting to bring something we love to the area we love.
John Kermon's a tough dude, love the man to death. Tell us a little bit about John first.
Well, the thing about John that's kind of amazing to me is that he's one of the kindest guys you'll ever meet in wrestling, in an industry that's kind of like known for its scumbags and kind of like tough men. He's so nice and so cool. He's definitely the nicest guy I know that can break my arm. You know what I mean?
I'm sitting here with Papa Hales, big fan of Nova Pro Wrestling, right?
Yes, absolutely.
How long have you been coming here?
This is like my 4th trip, I believe. I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, so it's a long haul for me to come up here.
What makes you come all this way to watch Nova Pro Wrestling?
I call Nova Pro the fun experience in wrestling. The reason I love this promotion so much is I just think it's absolutely fun. Every time I've come, I've loved it.
John Kermon, we're here for John Kermon. Could you tell us anything about him that just stands out to you?
I just think he's really excellent in the ring as a storyteller, and that's what I like. I want to watch a person that has a connection to the fans, and I think he's great at that. And I'm really looking forward to what is ahead for John, because I think he's got a great career ahead of him.
Tonight you have a match, but what's fun about it, it's not the match you originally were supposed to have, is it?
No, it's not. I guess the guy who was supposed to wrestle tonight decided he didn't want to get on his flight and come today. So, while I'm sure I'll still be doing something, I actually have no idea what it's going to be.
Now, that's kind of exciting, isn't it? I mean, you're coming in not knowing the game plan.
To a degree, yeah. And it's also part of the name of the game, to a degree, too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, things like this happen all the time. People don't show up. Sometimes you get thrown into a random match that you weren't prepared for. But that's just kind of how it is, and you take things as they come.
Introducing first, hailing from Moon Creek, Georgia, and representing the corners, Priscilla Kelly. So he kept his ass at home and he didn't get on his plane. So how about tonight, we make it a little freaky-deaky, a little 2-on-2 action. Those two versus two. What y'all say about that?
All right, John, your match just happened. It was a hard-fought loss,
Yeah.
I would say. But how do you feel about it?
It's okay, you know, tag team wrestling, you're not always in control of everything. You take your wins, you take your losses. It doesn't necessarily always come down to the individual, and that's okay.
How do you feel as a match as a whole?
Match went okay. I've never wrestled these people before. I've never tagged with the person I tagged before, so a couple things were a little choppy, communication-wise, but, you know, nobody got hurt, everybody's okay, and that's really the main thing at the end of the day.
What was it like working with Kermon?
It was great. Got to kick him in the face, and, well, you know, I kind of feel bad because, it kind of sucks, but it's also really fun kicking a guy in the face.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be an okay experience.
Especially since he pulled my hair a bit. It's like...
Is it exciting to watch your son do this, or is it, like, scary?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
So, mostly wrestling is exciting. I know that the guys are trying to do cool moves and dangerous-looking moves without actually hurting each other.
I was impressed. The crowd was behind you, and I think Freaky Deaky is now a new catchphrase.
I think so.
You need to...
Freaky Dicky! Freaky Dicky!
Oh my God! But John, thank you so much for letting us join you on your day.
Not a problem.
It's been great, and thank you for watching.